let's talk about the UK shill movement and UK politics. Now, the UK is a parliamentary democracy. It is not a direct democracy. Your vote is no better than toilet paper, and that's the way it's always been. It is a way of convincing the public that they have power when they do not. That is the system. And it is a system created by Freemasons and financed by people who are now in control of that country in the Middle East. And the whole Truth movement is a controlled opposition movement funded by DASOM, UK Column, Richard D. Hall, James Delingpole, who's had all these people on his show. Anybody that goes on his show is a shill. He is a shill. And if you look at the UK political system, it is a duality system where you have left and right, red and blue, and they work for the Crown. The Crown is purple. It is all controlled by the Crown and the City of London and Freemasonry and rich financial backers connected to a country in the Middle East. And they fund all sides. And it is their religious belief, due to the Kabbalah, that they believe in duality, so they fund all sides, and through the synthesis then they continue the path which they always wanted to go. And you can see that in politics with the left and right in the UK, and how no matter who you vote for, you end up getting the same direction in politics. And there is no organic political movement over the last 200 years. They have been all controlled by Freemasonry and these financial backers. No political movement over the last 200 years. And yet people think that there is some kind of miracle truth movement led by David Icke, who worked for the BBC and who's been promoted by mainstream media. And now we have this UK column which is full of intelligence agents. You cannot run a news agency. They do not make money. You cannot run political parties. They do not make money. They are huge costs. And the only people that can come up with that cost is the Crown. And that is why they are all shills. And you can see this with James Delingpole, who was friends with all the political class, and I'm going to show you this, and he's a DASOM shill. And so everybody on his show is a DASOM shill. And this is, he's trying to cater conspiracy theories for a posher crowd, because things have got weird, because things were always going to get weird. And so if you look at the political system of the UK, they say it's a political system full of checks and balances. And so this all goes back to Aristotle and his idea of politics, how one political movement moves into another. So a democracy ends up into a dictatorship and so forth. There's like a cycle towards this. And the UK is a police state which masks itself as a democracy, as a parliamentary democracy, and that's how it keeps control. And so you have to have this illusion that there's opposition in the system when there's not. They all work for the same side. And at the core of it, the actual people, their belief system is based on duality. That's why you have the black and white flaw, and that's why politics has continued in a completely single direction towards this outcome, which we're seeing today. With this thing in the Middle East and all these things which are going on. It's all being planned. They've planned it for years and years in advance. These things, that's why you have lots of predictive programming. These things have been predicted like 60 years ago. And this is the problem with UK Poundland truthers who go, oh, it's the World Economic Forum, oh, it's the Satanist. No, they're all controlled by the same people. The same people who are the good guys are the bad guys. And they always have to have this kind of fake enemy to keep you scared. And so they're always renewing the story. And that's what this is about. They know that we're going into a new age. They want to construct a new age. They know that things are going to get weird because of the technologies they have. So they have to kind of sell you these events. And the truth movement is there to guide you through these events and give you misinformation, like flat earth, and which ridicules everything you say. So if you say any kind of political point and then you come up with and the earth is flat or something else, you will just be ridiculed. And this is where James Delingpole comes in, because James Delingpole works in the City of London. He's worked for all the mainstream media organisations. He's educated at Oxford. Now he knows about climate science, so you cannot have the climate science and have a flat earth, and he's come out as a flat earther. Now there's no way from this man's background that he could have that belief. It's impossible. And he is a DASOM shill, and all of the people on his shows are shills. Controlled opposition, Richard D. Hall, fake court cases and all this stuff. It's also about aligning the truth movement with the right wing, when we know the right wing is run by a country in the Middle East, and we know that that country is responsible for mass migration into the UK. So that's a dialectic. That's how they run things. That's how they sell you these things. And so he's being painted by this portrait painter for Shill UK Column. And if you know anything about portrait painting, he's moving all the time. He's moving all the time. So this guy must do his paintings from photos. So he does David Icke, all the shills. And all the shills are on this show. And they're trying to tell you there's this evil new world order. When it's all a setup. The whole thing is a setup. They're going to expose the events to you. They have these people there. And then it's a new story. It's always about selling you a story. When they control all sides, they always have done. And that's what Poundland retard truthers in the UK need to get through their tiny little brains. So let's look at Delingpole. And we'll see here at Breitbart News, interviewing all the politicians from Reform, all the journalists, they're all his friends. They are all Freemasons. This guy's a Freemason. He interviewed an artist called Alexander Adams, who's a Freemason. All the Freemasons, Reform, Brexit Party, all City of London. He works in the City of London. He looks like a beep. I'm pretty sure that this guy's mother was likely to be a beep. Look at this. All the political members of the party that voted in these passports, Lords, they all know him. They're all his friends. Michael Gove, he's a complete shill. And then he comes out as a flat earther. And this is the point. Flat Earth is a Dassom psyop. And here he is with Tommy Robinson, who's appeared on Iconic and all the Truther channels. I've shown you how on all the Truther channels David Icke has appeared with all these right-wing guys on their shows. And this guy is a Dassom. He's actually a Dassom. He's an Israeli. This guy, Rebel News. It's not Rebel News. This is all a controlled opposition. Ezra Levant. All shills. All Dassom funded. The whole truth movement is a shill movement. There are no genuine truthers at this level. They're all begging for money, like UK Column. They want to charge you, put it behind a paywall. I'm telling you the truth here for nothing. They are all shills. You live in a controlled state, where if you look at even the most basic organic groups in the UK, you find that they're always infiltrated by policemen, who then take charge of these groups. There is no democracy in the UK. The only thing you can do is say no. And due to that, and they already know that, and that's why you have prisons full. They can't fill the prisons up, and you had these, because the prisons are full, okay, they have to let people out early, and so they have to psychologically sell you the fear, like they did when you had the crowd bug, and you had people like here, this guy, and other people from the UK shill movement saying they're going to put you in camps, and like that Simon the truck driver who's a Dassom shill. They are all Dassom shills when there's too many people in prison at the moment. It is all a shill movement. Politics costs millions and millions of pounds of money. There's only a group of people that have that, and that is the banking elite, the banking Masonic elite. And so you have all the shills. Sheepfarm, all the shills, who are connected to all the other shills. They are all shills. There is no truth movement. Lawrence Fox, shill. Douglas Murray, pro-Dassom. Gove, pro-Dassom. All Dassom. Crypto money. Shill after shill after shill. David Icke, Richard D. Hall, Sheepfarm. All of them are shills. Dassom shills. Dassom are behind this. And they're behind The Economist magazine, and they're behind the events that are going to come. All shills. GB News. There's no way that this man believes that the earth is flat. Impossible from his educational background. Do you think he teaches his kids that the earth is flat? That's what I'd like to ask James Delingpole. Do you teach your kids that? Do you honestly teach your kids that? Someone who's been educated at Oxford? And what we find about Delingpole is that he supported the Iraq War. I wonder who he fought the Iraq War for. And of course, the Iraq War was done by the same people who did 9/11. And who's behind all these events. And he is against the climate change. So climate change, there you have the CC, okay, 33 of Freemason, yeah, climate change. Now the people funding the climate change are the Getty family. So the Getty family are funding all these environmental groups, okay? But the Getty family make their money through the oil. And so this is how politics really works, is that they can fulfill